Welcome back to Morning Sun Homestead. My name is Mary Ann, and today we're going to get started on planting our onions. I know I'm probably rushing it just a bit, but onions are something that's very simple to put into your containers and be able to transplant when it warms up. If they get too tall, we can just give them a little bit of a haircut. This is a few of the onions that we have from last year. As you can see, they have stored very well. We plant onions that store, so even the red that's not supposed to be able to store very well, they have done remarkable. We harvest these the end of August. There is an old Amish saying that says, "Do not let the September sun hit your onions." I don't know if there's anything to that, but I always try to dig them before September. So there's the red. This is a white. It has stored very well. They're not a bit soft. We do have a few that have some green tops. We just take those out. Another red one. And then here is the yellow. They didn't get quite as big, but they've stored very well. It's all solid. So the storage on these are excellent. What we are going to plant is going to be the Red Mountain. And I've picked these seeds up from Territorial Seeds. This is mostly where I get my seeds. I've always had a good germination rate with them, so I just stick with them. Red Mountain is our red onion. That's what we planted last year. We have Cortland, which is that's a yellow storage. And then we also have Expression, and that's another yellow. So I'm going to plant all these today. What we do is we get these tubs. They're called mineral tubs. So with the cows, we make sure that they always have minerals accessible to them. It makes them easier for them to calve. And also they have healthier calves, and they're healthier all the way around. So once they've used these, we cut these with a sawzall, and then we drill holes in the bottom. As you can probably see the holes. That is to allow drainage when we water our seeds. So I am going to put some soil in this pan. I'm only going to do about halfway up, and then we'll sprinkle some of our onion seeds in there. We have also made our own homemade potting soil. This is a potting soil that's going to be for seed starter, so it's not going to be real heavy. I've put a little bit of water to it. We have a video on that. You want to make sure you check that out so you can make your own potting soil at home for pennies on the dollar compared to store-bought. I've put the soil in the pan. This is probably something, it gets kind of heavy, but you can use any container, but you probably want it to be seated where you're going to leave it so you're not trying to struggle to get it there. But I'm going to add a little bit of water because I want to make that wetter, and then I'm going to mix it up. I know it's really easy to go ahead and pick the onion bulbs up at a local hardware store or a seed store, and that always works well. But we just recently started our onions from seeds. Last year was the first time, and they did remarkably well. And it's very simple, and it is a whole lot cheaper because this seed pack is like $4 or $5, and you can pick what variety of onion you want to plant. The ones from the store are usually not for storage. That's going to be to grow and use as they're in your garden, but we need a lot of those as well for any recipes that we do. Mostly they always have an onion or two in them. But if you want something that's going to store, you're probably going to have to order the seed and get that started. And that is not difficult if you just follow the process that we are going to show you. I'm going to go ahead and plant all my onions in this pot that I have put the soil in. As you can see, it's nice and moist. One of the key things about onions when you're planting from seed is to keep your soil moist, but yet we also want it in a warm place. So I'm going to go ahead and start sprinkling some seeds in. When planting our onions from seed, we don't really have to worry about space between, unless you're planting directly in the ground, then that would be a thought. They're going to be thinned anyway, but with the ones that's in this bucket, all we have to do is just sprinkle around. You can see them pretty good. They're a little black, so they do blend in with the soil, but you can still see them. At this point, I feel that I have enough in here, so I'm going to go ahead and put some soil across the top. We don't need a big covering across the onions, just enough to cover the seeds. Once we have them covered, you want to go ahead and water this well. And keep in mind, moisture and heat is what we need. We're going to put these in the greenhouse. Our greenhouse gets fairly warm now. We've had some 70-degree days. If it does, temperature drops down again, I will bring them in. Now, they're okay during the night as long as we stay in the 30s. After we've got everything planted, we've moved them to the greenhouse. We have our pans here. We're just going to let them set here and wait till they come up. The most important thing to remember with any time you're planting anything is to always, your container that you use is to put holes in the bottom. We want to keep our soil moist so our seeds will germinate, but we don't want to drown them. And if there's no way for the water to get out, a lot of times that's exactly what will happen. So you want to make sure that you keep the bottom of your pan has some sort of hole or drain plug in it so you can get the water out. Now, once these come up, they should germinate fairly quickly because we're supposed to have quite a few warm days. They will come up and they'll sprout, of course. If we do not get them transplanted to the garden before they're about 5 inches tall, we'll give them a little bit of a haircut. You just need to cut them back down to 3 inches. That's a video that I'll show you later on. I'm not going to join them all together because I just wanted to show you how to plant to begin with. It's very easy. It saves you a ton of money. You can be able to make your own storage onions this way and not have to buy whatever's available at the store. So you can pick and choose what's perfect for your family. It's been approximately 9 days since we've planted. Now the onions are starting to come up. You can see the little green here. Remember, this is our homemade our potting soil, so you want to check out that video as well. The reason it took them a little bit longer than normal to come up is because we had cold nights, and they've been out in the greenhouse the whole time. At nights, it would get down to 25, 32, 36, so that would kind of stunt the growth of them coming up. But then also during the day, it would get really warm, and we would open the window of the greenhouse so it didn't get too hot. But overall, they've done remarkably well. They're going to do great when we get them in the ground. I did not mark them because I planted red and white, and then this other tub I have white as well, so I separated the white. But the red and white, it's very easy to tell the difference when you pull them and start planting them. We hope you enjoyed this video, and this is something that can help you become more sufficient in your food supply. If you do this, onions are something that can even be planted in small boxes or in beds. As long as we have a nice, loose, fertile soil, they will grow just about anywhere. Thanks for watching, and have a great day.